Good afternoon and welcome back here to Cherry Street Sports Club. Nick Hind and Andrew Lynn alongside you here as the players are concluding their roll-up. The horn will presently be sounding as we're going to bring you this afternoon's contest between the team of Jacqueline Hudson, who is leading. They've bluffed us again with our scoreboard, and Michelle Campbell. And they're up against Fred McConnell and David Parkinson. We've been out there, had a chat with the players, and looking forward to bringing you a great game this afternoon, and a really interesting game too, as I welcome Andrew Lynn alongside me, because we're seeing some players with some different levels of impairment. There's some vision impaired players out here, as well as those with some physical disability. He's got the wrong headsets on, Andrew.
There are.
Start, yes.
Yep. That's a good start. I think we've just gone off a little early here. Dean's gripping the horn, waiting to give it a blow.
I've heard that about him.
Oh no, we've still got a couple of bowls in the trial end. That's why we're... I'd say as soon as this one's put down, we will be underway. So Matt's been picked up. You'll notice most of the other rinks have their mat down, ready to roll the jack for the first end. Very keen. I think everybody just about.
Just waiting on Dean to set the hooter going, and we'll be underway here. So great to have your company wherever you're watching around Australia, around the world. Nick Hind and Andrew Lynn are here with you as we see it's going to be...
Oh, there is one rink just finishing their trial end, so they're just waiting on that. We do wait for the last bowl of the trial end to be put down before signalling the start of time.
Fred McConnell from Cudgen, ready to go. How was lunch, Andrew? We've had a big morning session.
Oh yeah, the lettuce sandwich was very good.
Andrew's been on a health kick up here. Lettuce sandwiches exclusively. Could you find a cup of tea at lunchtime, or have you?
No, I have not had my tea today, so caffeine deprived.
So if Andrew Lynn sounds a bit grumpy during this afternoon's stream, you'll know why.
Grumpier than normal anyway.
So the results are in from the earlier rounds, so you can head on to the BowlsLink results portal to check that out. We've had some exciting contests. Sadly not on the live stream though. We've had a few blowouts on the live stream, but there's been some great contests on some of the other rinks today, with the players all getting involved with.
Bowls is the winner, definitely,
with this great event. So we're just seeing around the rink there is one more bowl to go down. I'm going to let you know what the results though are from the other matches this morning. So we've had a couple of sections with two winners, which is going to make them very likely to progress. But in round two, we've seen Brad Gilbert and Aaron Kelly from Casino in South Tamworth defeat Cheryl Benbow and Vicky Parkinson, who we saw in this morning's game, 13 shots to 8. James Powell and Gail Schultz from Wiseman's Park were defeated by Christine Constable and Luke Howard from Singleton RSL. In section 2, Anthony Brown and Michael Vassalo have had another good win, so they're looking pretty good to get out of their section there against Michelle Campbell and Jackie Hudson, who we're featuring in this game. Ray Douglas and Carolyn Nelson from Engadine defeated Fred McConnell and David Parkinson, again who we're featuring in this Section 2 contest. In Section 3, we've had Des Cross and Jimmy Reynolds have defeated Simone Smith and Kathleen Wilton. As the hooter sounds, and we are underway here. The other match in that section was the live streaming game. Richard Rombouts put on an absolute classy display of lead bowls in what was a very good performance from him and Wayne Nelson.
No. Nelson Bay's John Douglas.
Oh, John Douglas, sorry. I'm going mad, aren't I?
You got the Nelson bit right. John from Nelson Bay. We're underway.
And in section 4, Jeff Seaton and Ryan Wood had a good win over Mark Power and Zach Warland. Shane Ekstrom and James Gotti had a bye, while Stuart Kidd and Keith Roberts fell to the locals Mick Daly and Trent Howie. So head on to the Bowlslink Resorts portal. That will show you where all the action was. So as we see here, both the leads are vision impaired players. So Jackie Hudson has, of course, been an Australian representative.
Correct, yes. I struggle to draw a shot when I can see what I'm doing, so full admiration. So 1 metre required probably by both players. Cudgen Leagues, of course, part of this area, just a little bit on the north of here.
And Fred's on a better track here. He was pretty happy in the roll-up.
Trial end, mate, trial end.
Oh. I'm not a member of NOAG. I don't have to say it like that. No, Fred was very ecstatic. He did say, though, he's going without a director. He's just got his telescope. So he said he feels he's a bit outnumbered out there.
And gang up, yes, the other two. For all intents and purposes, it is one player. Just one's the eyes and one's the bowler. Jacqueline just a little underdone there. Tighter and shorter.
So you see at the end there, Fred's got the looking glass.
The skipper said play the same hand, but I just don't think he heard what he said.
Well, it's on a pretty good line. If you can get a clear road, Andrew, down to the jack.
Got a
And
piece of the jack and trailed it right back.
Well, that's going to make it extra challenging here for the players.
Out near the boundary peg. Little of the magic chalk spray for the bowl that come down. So a bit of description there required for Jackie from a director.
I'll give you a look at the headers that's situated now. So Michelle's right out on the boundary peg in her chair, and that Jack's what, the best part of a metre just in from the peg.
Yeah, I think best part of a metre, maybe not a full metre, but not far off. Well, we might see a clash. No, it's going to miss. That's good. Don't think it's going to come in bounds though. So we do have an assistant for Michelle as well. That's Vic Mordew, and he's got a Blues shirt on because he works in our disability space and acts as our side manager and assistant.
Great job that all our volunteers, support staff, all the personnel who are involved in this great event can do. And to Vic, we thank him, and I'm sure, as does Michelle, for getting a ride up and down the green every end.
I also wonder if someone rolled me up and down in a wheelchair might make me a bit less tired at the end of the day.
I don't know if it would do anything for your figure after all those lettuce salads and lettuce sandwiches you've been having.
A fair bit of room here, but it is out near the boundary peg, so you've got to make sure you throw it out wide enough to come back in, but not stay out wide. Can be challenging for a lot of players to draw to just inside the boundary pegs. It's, again, not one of those things that a lot of people do practice. You will find the elite players, better players will practice the jack anywhere on the rink.
Yeah, we spoke about this in the previous game. So as we see the action here of David Parkinson, so he's got the chair and he's got the very short bowling arm. It's only a couple of bowls long. But he's got it out on a pretty good track here, Andrew. How's the pace going?
Just a little bit on the shy side.
Done. And that might be very close to being in, and if it's not, it's very close to being in the way.
We might need someone to have a look at that.
Fred's come wandering down the green to have a look at that. And no,
players have agreed.
They picked it up. The umpire was lurking. For that wide jack. So
it's all right, the players have agreed.
So we did see Michelle's bowl went down there, perhaps without without too much notice from the other rink, because it started very wide and finished out there. As we've seen, it's been collected from the head almost next door. Sensible call there from Fred. You don't need to be all the way out on the peg. Other shots inside the jack.
Well, Michelle's teammates have picked that bowl up and put it on the bank. Technically, I think she may have been able to get that back because it ran over the mat on the neighbouring rink, and it was on the correct bias. But I think the sportsmanship decision there was it wasn't coming in, it wasn't going to count.
No, it's probably the right decision. As we see here,
He'll come into the counting area.
This bowler's in the count. Good bit of weight.
I think they'll be holding 4 shots there at the moment.
Yeah, looks likely. So Michelle looking to correct here.
Oh, it's a much better effort. This one's shot.
Happy with the call.
Check with Nick to make sure he's pressed start record on the button on the stream deck. Done that. Then you can do your replays, mate. Got the L plates on, haven't you?
Yes, no, that's okay. I've got lots to learn. Lucky I've got one of the best in the business, Andrew Lynn, alongside me. But as we welcome you
here at Cherry Street Sports for the TAB State Championships, we're featuring now round 3 of the All Abilities pairs. We kick off the singles component tomorrow morning. We've got a couple of games. Singles tomorrow morning, followed by the quarterfinals of the pairs tomorrow afternoon. And we head into Thursday with another couple of singles games and the semi-finals of the pairs. And Friday we'll start off with the last round of the singles, then the singles quarterfinals and the final of the pairs. And we finish off with the semi-final and final of the singles on Saturday morning. Oh, Fred's out nice and wide here. I don't think that's going to come back.
No, we saw in the earlier game, and the breeze hasn't really changed, so it's coming from the right of screen, as you're seeing here, viewers, and that breeze isn't helping the bowlers get back from out there, so we'll see. Michelle played an absolute cracker last time.
Well, Nick, you can also tell Michael Vassallo that he has been on the live stream. He's walking up there on the edge of the shot.
He's my man, Vass. As we see Michelle on a pretty handy track. Might need to run into her own to slow it down. Has done.
That's a good result. That's 2. Two shots confirmed. 2-0 after one end. We'll go to the second end of this All Abilities pairs. Jackie Hudson placed the mat about 2 metres off the tee. If you are in the Northern Rivers area, pop on down to Ballina, Cherry Street, the bowling club there, Cherry Street Sports. For the next 2 weeks or so, you'll catch some great bowls action. And kicking off on Monday, we'll also be at Club Lennox and Alstonville Plateau Sports, the bowling club at Alstonville. Jackie Hudson on the forehand.
She's on a high line there, but that's okay. The breeze is helping it get back.
Yeah, it's going to get back close to the centre line, just a few metres through.
Always so impressed with our VI bowlers and how quickly they can adjust and adapt when they're out here. Fred McConnell now from Cudgen. He was most explicit about that. It's Cudgen. Very easy to get that wrong, Andrew. I'm sure it's one of the place names. Well, you being a Northern Rivers boy, you wouldn't have ever got that wrong.
No, I value keeping my skin on my body. It's a good start from Fred. You'll see Jackie's assistant just going out a little bit in front, giving her a spot on the green. She's got very low vision, not completely impaired.
We've seen that it's a great technique, even for new bowlers as well, just to get them to look somewhere a bit closer than the other end of the green. If you hit that spot with the right sort of weight, you're likely to be in the area. And perhaps just overcooked it a little bit, but see how Fred can go here. His first one was excellent.
Crash on his own's not too bad. Pumped his own up towards the jack and split off.
Well, made 2. And left plenty of holes there as well. So it's a good look at our director here. So you can see he was just giving a guide.
It's changed over to the backhand side. I felt there's just a bit more room on that side to draw underneath the shorter bowl. It's pretty well pointed.
That's better than that, Andrew. This is going to be number 1. Well done.
Grabs hold of the jack. That's fair, very good, because it's still sitting there in the way. Not easy to remove it without collecting the jack. There is a nice path on that backhand side for Fred just to play down to a good draw line, just inside his own. Fairly comfortably inside his own on that side of the green. A little bit of breeze will hold the line. Just wants to slide inside that one or get a big piece
Well, we could see.
Well, that's an improvement in position, so we'll swap over. Oh, cut their beer off.
You can see David Parkinson was urging that one to get back, and the glassy might be called down this end. We just heard a breakage. So as the players cross over, it is 2 shots after the first end to Michelle and Jackie. Fred's parked a few near it there, though, so we'll see if David Parkinson can do something about this.
Well, the bad news for David, though, is he's got to play. If he's going to play weight, he doesn't want the jack back at all. So for Michelle, though, nice confident backhand draw. Oh, it's not quite come out right.
She's got you, though, again, Andrew. There's another left-hander out there. That'll be the left-handed forehand.
Yeah, well, the khaki backhand, left-handed forehand. I really struggle with calling left-handers because I've got to actually think about it. Thinking not the strong suit.
You've not ever gone and use the left yourself when the right's not working?
No, the left is worse than the right no matter what.
I do mean on the bowling green, of course.
Yes. I was just considering whether for a staff exercise we should go out and play bowls and you have to wear a blindfold to deliver.
Or a vision impaired exercise.
Yes.
Well, that would be challenging.
That's some really dark sunnies.
David's got his dark sunglasses on and a very deliberate preparation, action and delivery. And just a little bit under...
Yeah, needs a bit more speed on that one.
Under the weight. So Michelle now to the mat. Now...
Still on the forehand, can afford to reach. Just over the draw, tickle that jack back a little bit. Cover it up.
Oh, can afford to reach, Andrew, and she's gone very close.
Oh, just a tad underneath what she wanted. The speed.
So David, he's very deliberate with his setup on the mat, lines up the wheels, rips the bowl with the shortest of the hacksaws. I don't think they make a hacksaw smaller than that.
No, I don't think it's possible.
Locks himself in. And away.
Tighter line. Would love to get down to the shot bowl.
Well, that was the track, I think, Andrew, wasn't it?
Yeah, just
another metre of weight there.
Metre and a half. Still, Michelle can play around that one. Looks like she's lining up on the other hand now, though.
Yeah, playing a backhand, can promote her own little greyhound through the hole. Probably is a nuisance now for David. Blocks off the backhand.
Now, David doesn't really have a full attacking shot available to him here. So he plays big weight, gets the shot bowl onto the jack, pushes it back. He's in trouble. A kill would even make him 2 or 3 down. So don't want to give him any more. So he's really got just to reach. And there's not much of a gap there either, so it's a tough shot.
Persevering with this backhand. And we know it's on a high
Don't think
line
that'll
there.
come back.
Yeah, one down's probably a good result for Fred McConnell and David Parkinson. So after 2 ends,
3 shots to nil. So we're 20 minutes in.
and 2 ends complete. When you said yes, and you're thinking there might be a time issue here, Andrew.
They've
been pretty good. There was a couple of games in the pre-lunch session that didn't get the last end completed. As we see the jack going almost all the way to the pit there. So we're on the tee. Good reference point for our vision impaired players. They know where that is. It's a very confident reference point for them. You see Jackie Hudson here. She's got nice action. And a good action has seen a good result with the first bowl. As Fred McConnell steps up to the plate. Look on the forehand, it is the tighter side, but he may not have given it enough petrol there. That line was pretty good. He's using some set of premiers here, so they won't turn a heap into the wind. So Jackie getting some directions there where that bowl is in relation to the jack and how that impacts her on the draw line.
Just trying to get some updates on the other boards for you, but unfortunately, people are standing in front of them. You know, it always happens.
How dare they? So Jackie's consistent with this backhand, and she's just going to sneak past. That'll be 2. McConnell. He gave himself a big rap in the roll-up when I was having a chat with him. He put on about a side toucher and he said, I'm on fire here. So he's an interesting cat. He's an interesting character, and he's played a pretty good bowl here, Andrew Lynn. That'll be number 1.
Well, he's on fire there. That's worth it. Give yourself a rap with that one. That one's a good one.
So we can see here, Jackie's got her monocular out as well. This helps assist seeing the situation at the other end. She is a vision impaired player, so she's entitled to have a director there to assist with letting her know what the situation is.
So our little rolling progress scoreboard coming through with what's on the boards now. And if you are looking for the final results and even some progress scores, you can jump onto the BowlsLink results portal. So you can Google BowlsLink results or go to results.bowlslink.com.au. Click on New South Wales for the results that you want, and then the state championships, and then of course the All Abilities pairs. While you're in that though, you can check out the draws for all of the other state championships. that are to be run. All 23 other events. Single pairs, triples, fours for men, women, senior women, and the open reserve. Plus the mixed pairs, the all abilities pairs, and the 2 all abilities singles, the open and reserve. So as we cross over, 2 shots to Fred McConnell from Cudgen Leagues. Set up his lead. Sorry, she skipped David Parkinson. Jackie Hudson got good bowl back near the ditch on the centre line. Could be quite useful. Does mean that Michelle can afford to reach. Gets the jack back. They've got the back covered.
Yeah, just as I drop the camera down there, so that does give a bit of security there. That with the weighted shot, that they can play that with some confidence. So we'll see what Michelle looks to do for us here.
Well, that looks to be on a fairly good line. How's the speed? Oh, just needed a bit more speed to come through. It is slightly under, but that's not too bad at all. There'll be another third shot.
Well, another 2 yards of weight there, Andrew, and that would have been really interesting.
Yeah, you just looking to contact either shot bowl. Get the front one fair in the middle. With that 2 yards of weight, you nearly stay and take its place. Sneak underneath and trail the jackback's good. Or if you just through, you get the second shot at the back. Take its place. Cut it back to 1.
Yeah, plenty of ways to win if you've got that sort of speed.
I think the other hand would be an option as well, but you'd need very big weight on that hand to get underneath. I just don't think Michelle's got the physical strength to play that bigger weight.
No, it's one of the challenges that we see with all the players here. The classifiers were out in action yesterday, ensuring that everybody was given an appropriate classification. Not B1 or B2, as Andrew and I have been called, but
yeah, they're more euphoric to us being bananas.
Classification that's relevant to their limitations and their capacities with our sport, particularly as it comes to strength and movement. So Michelle's going to have a try on the other hand here. I'm not so sure. I think it's a bit of a curious decision. I like the left-handed backhand.
Yeah, I think she needed a big weight to get underneath there, or there's a bit of traffic in the path. I've heard us referred to, mate, as Statler and Waldorf than B1 and B2, but a couple of Muppets.
Mate, I'm just happy to be here. Happy to have you with us wherever you're watching around Australia or around the world. Nick Hind and Andrew Lynn here at Cherry Street Sports. We're watching Michelle Campbell and Jacqueline Hudson up against Fred McConnell and David Parkinson. This is round 3, the third and final sectional round for the all abilities pairs.
Now Fred on his forehand. He can play a nice confident draw here. I think I'd actually be trying to play a little bit overplay it. You hit the inside of that white bowl, you come in good. You hit your own bowl that's shot onto the jack, not a problem. You're just not using big weight. You're just slightly overplaying the draw, maybe a foot or two. And if you get back to the back bowl, you're good. That one, however, he played a bit of a blocker. Don't know that he's deliberately tried just to stop Michelle getting in.
Well, it does make it hard for Michelle. She's going to have to play quite firm through the backhand as she's doing.
She gets underneath that green bowl, it's good, but I think she's got it fair in the belly.
Well, that is unfortunate, but it's so hard to play a perfect blocker deliberately. Occasionally you do play one accidentally. And so Fred's saying, no, it's still there. Just draw me another one. We like it's 2 blue bowls there, the 2 Green Masters of Fred McConnell.
Yeah, look, you can come around that last bowl of Michelle's. You just again, slightly overplaying the draw. You dead draw it now. Nothing left in the tank for the opposition. Your chance to even the scoreboard, though. I wouldn't call this one a free kick. It's a great opportunity. He's looking for a fair bit of weight on his previous effort.
Yeah, so David with a very different setup to what we saw in the last game from Rob Jordan with how he moves his equipment around. He's on that high line, as you suggested, Andrew, to get around everything.
Yeah, just a little too high. And weight, not quite, but it is 2, so it's 3-2 now after 3 ends, 4 ends.
3 ends.
Yeah, we're playing the odd number this way.
Well, don't make me second guess myself, Andrew. I might.
I just can't count.
Well, this is why we've got the clever bit of software to do it for us.
Yes.
Every time we press the button that adds on the score, it adds on an end for us too. So we've got a lot of the technology working for us, and it's in our favour today.
Yeah, a couple of little first up bugs we managed to work out. Quite pleased to have that Google data link in to bring the secondary scoreboard. We'll continue to work to get the competitor scoring link happening and implement competitor scoring in future events. Quite like the idea of that.
Well, there's so much that our sport can offer with technology, and lots of clubs that have embraced it, lots of regions that have embraced it, and Bowls New South Wales now looking to lead the charge as we see Fred McConnell. As soon as I said he was on fire, he's come pretty good there. That's not a bad effort. Just slid underneath. So here, Jackie Hudson. I feel like, Andrew, they must all be tough when you've got vision impairment, but the first one must be really hard because you don't really know what you're working with.
Yeah, I don't know how you picture it. I suppose they have a routine to try and get one close and correct.
So Fred persevering with the backhand here. He's looking to play against the breeze.
It's come around to a reasonable home.
Forgiving on that hand there. Easterly sort of dropped off though now as we're getting later in the afternoon.
Well, Triple M did pick that the easterly would drop off and the westerly would come in.
For those that are also a bit lost, that was Jason Pinnock who was on with us this morning. Who's no longer Triple M anyway.
No, he's now, but MMY just doesn't have the ring, does it?
They were calling him the male model from McLean, which is hence the Triple M, as we see Jackie Hudson has corrected beautifully there with her second bowl and become the shot. But Jason Pinnock, of course, from Bowls Australia, he offers great service to all the clubs that he looks after across New South Wales. And has been here. He's going to be here for a few days to assist with the delivery of this part of the event. So we see Fred's turned over to the forehand and he's found his weight. Just Faber has slid under. Yeah.
And Jason has got a few other bits and pieces of his regular job to do while I'm in this area.
Yes, he was helping out one of the region match committees with Bowls Link this morning. He's been on the phone. I don't even know if he stopped for lunch, did he, Andrew? We had our lettuce sandwiches.
I'm not sure. Nobody was out there cracking the whip over him, though, so not too badly down from Jackie. Just going to run him behind. Very good bowl.
Well, it might counter. It might also cover the tee. Now, we haven't seen a lot of power, of course, in this All Abilities competition so far. But it is a respot. And so if players do get the bowl off the rink, or get the jack off the rink, then we're going to see the jack replaced on the tee. We might see a bit of that as soon as we get to these quarterfinals, because there's Anthony Brown just played a shot with a bit of power next door. And of course we're fortunate to be blessed by the presence of the world champion James Reynolds, who's still no slouch in open company as well as in the para space.
Brad Gilbert capable of playing a fairly swift weighted shot.
Oh yeah. He's got some very long levers, Brad Gilbert, and big arms that go all the way down.
Fred, backhand. I think that's a decent line for his bowls. Wants to get underneath that white bowl.
Yeah.
With a bit more power.
Yeah, David Parkinson. He's just been short a little bit.
Sorry, David, yes.
Early, but he's finding a good line here. I think his time will come where he gets a bit of rhythm.
Michelle, I think she really does have to play it'll be her backhand. Just down to that head. Sorry, her forehand. No, backhand.
No, you're
I was
right.
first time.
How do you go with your lefts and rights, Andrew? Well, she's played it pretty well.
Well, my
Nose on.
Yep.
No, very good.
My problem is I'm looking at the front and the rear view at the same time. So I'm looking straight down the rink behind here, and I'm also got the screen in front of me. So I'm getting confused in my left and my right. Because I'm looking at two different things simultaneously.
Do I need to give you the other camera angle? So David's just been given a little bit of orange juice there to help keep his fluids up, keep his sugars up. We'll see if this little bit of petrol can do some favours here. Fred's saying you can run into anything there, and it's all us at the back.
Yeah, look, good call there. He can slightly overplay this draw. Yard, 2 yards. Just don't want the hole. You'd be a bit unlucky. Just going to slightly reach up to that. Get the jack clean is huge. Sit either bowl. Get second or even shot. Could even go a little bit on the quicker side. Try and deliberately play right through it. Certainly not going to be too quick.
Well, he's on the right sort of line to draw it.
Just going to drop short.
Yeah, just wants a metre again.
Still a maybe 2, I think. Now for Michelle, I think ignore that bowl. Play that draw that you did last time. But you really do want to get a touch. Get a touch, just 6 inches or so. You probably make 3 or 4, and you just take that chance of that shot away.
Yeah, if you can hide the jack away. So, Michelle here from Soldiers Point. Likely to be featuring prominently later in the week. There's a few Soldiers Point members going to be about, Andrew?
Yes.
So, she's opted for the forehand here and probably looking to get to the back of the rink. Identified that there is some danger back there. Hasn't quite got back as well as it needed to.
No, it's not a bad home in some ways because that jack could end up out. It's taken away that side of the rink for the ditch anyway. David probably just wants to wreak a little bit of chaos on this head. A little bit of a through. Little chunk on something.
Well, it's all his own coming up as well, Andrew, isn't it? So if he's a little bit offline, there's green bowls coming up. There's blue bowls at the back of the rink.
You just want a dead centre or whatever you hit.
How's he going for pace here? This is looking a bit better. That orange juice might have kicked in, Andrew.
Just going to hit the outside. I think it's still two.
Well,
close though. Michelle's got one bowl left to draw.
And there's
one, they say.
One finger in the air. Right. Jackie Hudson's got in there and said, "Are you sure about that?"
It's on its way.
Well, just going to run out of puff. So we'll wait for there to be confirmation. But I think Fred will take the one if they're offering one. They're having a bit more of a look at it than I thought. They might have declared it at one. And one is all it is. So one to Hudson and Campbell. 4-2 after 4 ends. Hard to pick a winner early here, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm picking whoever gets the most bowls close will go pretty good. But I know it's a brave call, but I'm willing just to go out there with that.
So I bet you back them at $1.05 too, do you?
No, I don't back any of them actually. There's a very strict rule in live streaming. You never pick a winner because you instantly push the commentary curse kiss of death on the team you select that's going to win. It's happened a few times. And
well, what did you say before? You've beaten a lot of the best bowlers in the game, haven't you?
Yeah, by declaring them winners.
And also by being on their team.
Yeah, well, the Albatross will agree with you there.
So just for the viewers that don't know, tell us about your man, the Albatross.
He's my mate at Siddo's that we've played club pairs together for 20 plus years. Played most club championships together. I missed the triples a few years ago and he won it without me. Got in a better team. We've won the club fours together, a runner-up in the zone, ran a champion of champion fours then. We were runner-up in that. On the club pairs a couple of times. He's unfortunately, he's getting older.
Well, happens to the best of us.
Well, time doesn't run backwards. That's the problem.
So, once again, we've seen that reference point that we like, and it's Fred McConnell who's struck the first blow. Jackie Hudson did go for a swim there with the first one. I thought it might have parked up just in front of the number, but it did drop into the pit.
Just trying to finalise the score updates, and of course there's always somebody standing in front of one of the scoreboards. Maybe we need those dog shot collars on everybody, mate. Little number, press it. Zzz.
I've got a bit of an issue with that. I think the accounts department might go crook if we bought 40 or 50 dog collars.
Well, yes.
So just a little overcorrection there from Jackie Hudson. Easy for us all to do. Overcook the first one a little bit and then leave the second bowl short. Fred McConnell, though, seems to be warming into this contest. He's got the Grandmaster Premier on a good line again here. Gets past his first bowl. That's 2 to Fred McConnell. Well done, mate.
There we go. We're up to date with our scores now. Well, as up to date as we're ever going to get. Yeah, another good bowl from Fred. So Jackie, one long, one short. Just needs to split those two. A little bit of room still. Misses her own. It's pretty good. And it's going to come underneath. That's really well pointed. Right down for the shot.
Yeah,
very
well
good
played.
bowl.
Showing a bit of class there. Here's Jackie Hudson. So, Fred's asking if he can play backhand.
Well, yeah, he's played too reasonable on the forehand. Would have to just probably turn his own up, so...
Yeah, so those blue bowls on the left-hand side of the screen there, second and third.
Look, I'd be tempted saying stick to your forehand, just take a little bit less grass and add a good yard of weight.
Just look to bump it through a bit.
You're either going to go around and finish at the back, or you're going to thump one of your own and possibly even push it in for shot.
Well, that's what's ended up happening here. And almost as you've called exclusively, Andrew Lynn.
You've given that little chunk just a good yard of weight. That's all you needed. Good thing here for Michelle, though, that bowl's finished as near enough to Jack High to be played as Jack High. So she's got a left-hander's forehand. I've got it right this time.
Oh, well done.
Just down to that shot bowl, Jack High. You can set it. Again, you're not doing anything crazy. Just slightly overplay the draw. So that you make sure you're there. If you're there with anything up to 2 or 3 feet away, chance to sit that bowl, stay, or just that, give the Jack a little kiss, a little tap. Not quite a Woolloomooloo uppercut, but just a nice little tap.
Nor a Marrickville one after we had.
That's a mauling, that one. So.
After we had the Marrickville mauler Mark Pink in the last game, as you dubbed him exclusively. So we see Michelle here. Can play this confidently, as you've suggested.
I like the line. Just down to the weight. It's just not going to have enough weight to hold that line. And it is breezy on that side, so maybe just a bit more grass.
Just gusted up as well as she let the bowl go. You could hear that in our effects, Mike.
Yeah, look, I like the second choice better there. Forehand, down to the white bowl. Basically, you're playing similar to what Fred played with his last.
Yeah, I agree.
Now you're just trying to reach to the white bowl with a foot of weight or so. You got protection from your own short. Ideally, you're going to, if you don't sit the white bowl, you're going to come around the back and get protection. Folks who play with me hear me say this all the time. Just give your bowl a chance. And look, if it doesn't work or you muck it up, don't worry. That's down to me calling it. But David's just not quite got this one away.
No,
straight.
he's just had a couple coming this way on that forehand where it's been a bit treacherous for him. He's been out a little bit high, and we're seeing just even with that little bit of breeze around, once you get sort of across the rink peg, across the line into the next rink, they're not going to turn back for you. But he's got 2 more. He can adjust from that.
Well, Michelle's just taking a little tumble as she's delivered that.
But
Tell you what,
she might get up with a smile on her face. Oh, wow.
I do hope she hasn't hurt herself. Well, she's up and moving okay.
Yeah, I saw her out rolling up yesterday, and it seems to be that when she's really giving it a bit more, that this is a potential outcome. She's just going to take a sit down for a moment.
I think Fred now David really does need to reach. And it could be with the back bowl. Match either of those two white bowls at the back.
Yeah, just bring the picture back down a bit so we can see there's two white bowls at the back of the rink. And if you're good enough to get the jack through to them, could be 2 or 3 if your bowl goes with to the Hudson and Campbell duo.
So, David, it doesn't need to get too wide. That is the tighter of the two hands. I think if he gets out just past halfway between the two blue lines, nearly enough.
Yeah, even that's probably the high side a little bit, Drew, but
that's about right line. I don't think he's got the speed though. That'll come back to the centre line. And not really in the way for Michelle either. So she can play very similar to last bowl with another 2 feet of weight, I think. Just want to smudge that jack back. Very technical term, that. Smudge it back. Get the shot bowl right in the belly. That's great. Oh, I think she's just gone a bit wider.
well, this is the hand that turns though.
Yeah, just that little bit of grass.
Wow. Yeah, maybe only a bowl wide.
I think you really needed to have a tight line on that one. Well, sort of a free kick here for Fred. It's dead draw, forehand. You just want to slide around that short blue bowl.
I'm going to have to get the fine jar out, Andrew. This is David Parkinson delivering.
Oh, they've got me around with the knot changing. Just call everybody Fred and you're not in trouble.
Oh, yes. Old mate and champion and buddy. No, he's shaping up on the backhand. I like this for him. It's a hand that he seemed to have played with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more control.
Bit of danger.
And, well, the only risk is if he's quick enough to grab the jack and go back, but conservative amount of weight.
And there's nowhere near danger, period.
That's just going to be one shot to...
One to Fred.
So, through 5 ends, 4-3, McConnell and Parkinson trail.
You got your close game you wanted so far.
Yes, oh look, it's always great to have a close game here when we're bringing you the coverage. You can be letting us know who you're cheering for. Let us know where you're watching from. And let us know what you're up to and who you're looking forward to seeing across the next 14, 15 days here at the Bowls New South Wales 2024 TAB State Championships. Nick Hind and Andrew Lynn here with you, and we look forward to bringing you all the coverage. As we see Fred opting for a slightly shorter length. Maybe looking to get David in the game a little bit more here. He's brought the mat up about the furthest it's been.
Well, we've still got an hour and 5 minutes remaining. Played 5 ends, so we probably are in danger of not actually getting the full 14 in.
So a draw becomes likely in that circumstance, or likelier in my opinion, particularly with there's a few less ends. Jackie away on the forehand. Just now a little bit high. You can see she was watching on there the monocular. Both Fred and Jackie using the looking glass, basically, is what it is. Help the players identify what's going on down at the business end. I think Fred's pointed this one a bit better, mate. He sure has, getting a warm round from skipper David Parkinson there.
Just another sweep of the scoreboards for each of the games. Updated scores you will see scrolling through in our progress scores box. They are as per the scoreboards on the rinks. We have instructed the teams who's on the left and who's on the right, so hopefully they've followed that and they've kept their scores up to date. I've seen one or two where the board's gone up by only one end, but both sides have been added, so I'm not sure whether that's fixing one that was slightly mucked up or mucking it up. But we are just reporting what's on the scoreboards.
Well, Fred's put them in the area there, but he's a little bit short. Chance for Jackie, we saw on the last end. She's shown a little bit of class. I'm going to see here if she can correct. Once again, one long, one short. We'll see if she can nail it.
Well, it's passed. If you're going to not get shot, I think past is the best place to miss. There is a nice line in between those two bowls on the tighter hand. You can play just to get a little noodle on that jack. Just drag it back a foot or two.
Pull back the curtain a little bit. This is our vantage point here. Bowls New South Wales shopping trolley. We're here, we're set up, we're ready to go. And bring you all the action at the 2024-25 TAB State Championships. David Parkinson is on the mat. And he's going to look to add to the two shots that Fred McConnell has already.
Do like the fact that he's playing the backhand here. So I think that's the best option for Michelle. So play that and try and take that shot away from them.
It's become such a big part of the modern game, hasn't it, Andrew? You know, beat them to the punch, take the shot before they can get to it.
Yeah, you're playing what's your best options, and sometimes your best options is to just to take away your opponent's options.
So Michelle here, she'll be looking. She's going to play the wider hand, her backhand. Just looking to park one close. And probably just ran out of puff a little bit there. Plenty to do and see when you're up here on the Northern Rivers. We've got a huge contingent of players coming up over the coming 2 weeks. So when you do come up here, whether you're flying, whether you're driving, whether you're catching the train, Andrew, do you think anyone's going to catch the train?
Maybe. It's a fairly pleasant journey on the XPT.
We'll look forward to welcoming you here to beautiful Ballon. There's some fantastic restaurants. Lee and I went and sampled the nightlife on Sunday at one of the local venues, and aside from the score in the Canberra Raiders game not going in our favour, it was a very pleasant evening. Do bring a Sydney Morning Herald though if you'd like to do the crossword. They'd run out yesterday by the time we got to the shops, so
it's too popular, mate. Too popular.
Fortunately, my mother came to the rescue and she's brought me a copy of the crossword from the Monday papers. So thank you, Mum. I'm sure she's watching. And I'm sure wherever you're watching, you're enjoying our coverage here. Great to bring you all the action from the All Abilities players. It's a tight line, but the breeze is going to help it hold. The weight's helping it hold too. Just need to be the other side of the hill there. Get that split. We'll run into either of the blue bowls. So, David here. This is largely a free kick now. Really put some pressure on.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to draw another. And just add that little bit of pressure.
So you can hear the wind just getting up again. It's coming from the left-hand side of the screen as you're looking at it. You can see the Cherry Street flags flapping. As he's got this one away on a better track. Wants to go the trip there. It may be in.
Yeah, I think it is. Michelle needs to come underneath that bowl. Whether she wants to risk dropping a 3 to try and get a trail, make 3 herself.
Well, at this stage of the game, Andrew, a 3 down could be very costly. So
let's change back over to the left-hander's backhand side. Wants it to come under her own bowl or a feather.
Wow.
There's luck of fortune.
Fortune, yes, favours the brave. And it's going to be one perhaps fortunate shot, but when you put them in the area, you tend to get the good results.
Nice thick edge, runs it in.
That was about my best scoring shot as a cricketer, Andrew. Nice thick edge.
That's getting plenty of bat on it sometimes. Play in the V. Only problem is it's the V between keeper and gully. Always a perennial joke, I know. Remember the old Grey Nichols scoop bat?
Yes.
We had one of those where the scoop went right through, which we handed to one of our players and said, you never use the middle of the bat, so this should be ideal for you.
I thought that happened just normally. Some of my cricket bats had holes in them. I could have sworn I middled it, and stumps were cartwheeling behind me. But I didn't. Look, I never had aspirations of being a batsman. I still have aspirations of being my club's premier bowler, as I was there in my youth. I want to be the best bowler at my club, and I still want to be the best bowler at my club. It's just my actions changed a little bit. So, Jackie Hudson with the mat now. She gets it away. She's a nice, smooth delivery.
Just under the line a little bit, but
See, she does a lot right, though, with it, with how she lets the bowl go. It's very consistent with how a lot of people have been coached. Have a look at Fred McConnell here. Puts the hand on the knee, gets down pretty well. He's favouring the narrower hand. There's some good close contests going on in this third and final sectional round here at the state championships. Let's see. We'll see what the final results are. There is a couple of teams with 2 wins, and by my calculations, that means that they're through. Just what their finishing position is.
well, it is possible that you'll end up with 3 teams in a section with 2 wins.
And then it comes down to margins, doesn't it?
It comes down to margins. So you can win your first 2 games and miss out. The only way that you're guaranteed to get through with 2 wins is if your third round opponent also has 2 wins, because you will still finish ahead of the other teams, which is whether you finish first or second. 2 wins by yourself and you go out and get beaten, and there's a couple of big wins, one against you and one in the other game, there's a chance you'll miss out. Easy solution to that is win your 3 games and you're through. No doubt whatsoever. You top the section.
Well, this is why you are one of the best minds in bowls, Andrew. You'll be telling me next, if you get 1 shot every end, you'll be a big chance of winning the game.
Well, you play a 21 in game. If you give away only 1 every time you lose, and you win the odd numbered ends, you win 11-10. That'll do, I was once told. It's a couple of pearls, I think, are big numbers hurt. They're the ones you don't want to drop. You keep them to 1s as much as you can. Try not to drop any big numbers, because when you drop the big numbers, you're letting your opponents get some momentum. And you see it plenty of times where the score's 15-10 and one of the teams picked up a 5. $17-14 and someone picked up a 5, and your opponents just say, you know what, we kept that to 1 and we win the game. And it's the sloppy big counts too, not where there's 5 bowls within 18 inches, 35, 40 centimetres. It's one where there's 3, 4, 5 feet to get that second or third shot.
To draw for 7th wood, that's about my speed. I can draw for 7th wood.
I don't mind drawing for 7th wood if we've got the first 6.
So Michelle's up to the mat here. And first one to go close here will really put the pressure on. The leads perhaps haven't given the best account of themselves on this end. But it does give the skips a chance for a nice open draw here. And
Michelle's done it.
Michelle has brought in number 1. Congratulations. Well done to her. Now, I can tell you, Andrew, so in all the sections, so in section 1, as it stands, Brad Gilbert and Aaron Kelly have had 2 wins, and they're plus 15, so they're looking pretty good. The Wiseman's Park duo that won the first game, 1-1, plus 9, currently in second live. In section 2, Anthony Brown and Michael Vassilo, 2 wins plus a lot, and Ray Douglas and Carolyn Nelson are 2 wins plus a lot. So
they will go through.
They will both go through. Just which way they do is still to be determined.
Very tight battle there. They're on our next rink. So we'll just have a look here at David Parkinson.
He's got the line, but he's not going to go the trip there. He's been short.
Regularly.
And it's a big day, you know. I do appreciate for these players that it's hard. You know, a lot of them are here at 7:30. Egg and bacon rolls. So, I'll see if Michelle can add on here. She's on a slightly tighter line. She can skirt around all of those. She'll be close.
No, not just quite got the right line. Probably needed a little more speed on that one.
Now in Section 3, there's a couple of teams with 2 wins as well. So Richard Rombouts, who we saw in the last game, and John Gibson, they're through 2 wins plus 23 currently, and Des Cross and Jimmy Reynolds are through 2 wins plus 20. But again, they're playing against one another, and it's currently very, very close. I was looking over there, 8-5, I believe, to the team of Reynolds. And then in Section 4, Jeff Seaton and Ryan Wood have had 2 wins, but this one's a bit trickier because there is buys coming into it. They've had 2 wins and are currently in provisional first place. Stuart Kidd and Keith Roberts currently in provisional second place and will be our qualifiers.
Yeah, that could change quite a bit after this round, though.
Yeah, so Section 4, I wouldn't be placing any wagers on that one, but the other sections there, it's looking as though, well, certainly in Sections 2 and 3, we know who's getting through. Here, though, I'm seeing Michelle, if you can find this hole.
Well, it's got the friendly little glide. More than close.
Well, we don't know whether it's going to be 1 or 2. Andrew, you've probably got the best view from where you're stationed.
Yeah, I look from where I am, the black bowl at the back's actually, or the dark blue, is probably the shot. I do have a fairly low sort of view here, though, behind the head.
Yeah, well, that's what the situation is at the head. So you like the dark blue?
David's just got to draw down. Oh, he's gone wide again. He's been consistently wide on this hand. Oh, just stand up again. Oh, when I stand up, it's not quite as confident with it.
Geez, there's a good bit of weight in the end there from David Parkinson.
Yeah, the white bowl up front being indicated. It definitely only 1 if it is. They conceded that one. Oh, you're going to have a look at it. Oh, that definitely just flew out to maybe, maybe not.
Yes, from being very confident, you put it in reverse very quickly there, Andrew. And they are going to go for the tape.
Does from this very oblique angle, it does look like it's just the one. But one thing we found with our camera positions is there is a fair bit of. It's not like you're up in the head and able to get those judgment calls from just being in and about.
No, and although you've been threatening to invest in the Bowls New South Wales drone.
Well, yeah, we haven't got anybody.
We need someone with a pilot's licence.
CASA certified to actually pilot that device.
So, one shot it was
just
in the end.
So the confident call turned out correct.
So we're halfway in ends, but we've still got a way to go in time. That's less than halfway.
45 minutes to go.
So I reckon 12 ends will probably be about the upper limit that we're going to get to here.
Yeah, look, we do have a couple of fairly slow players. David certainly is not very quick. Michelle, just a little unsteady on her feet. She's probably not real quick either.
Oh, look, and this is absolutely no slight on the players. They're all doing their best with what their capability is. But certainly having a time limit for these games is just to help ensure that everybody's getting sufficient rest and able to have a break between the games too, because that's equally very important.
We did have a fairly short turnaround between game 1 and 2. Then a decent lunch break. We had an hour and a bit scheduled just to ensure that those who with a little bit of a fudge factor for the time this morning.
We've been looked after here. President Kindley Sides has just come past. And taking drink orders.
Did you go for a fire engine, mate?
I was after the ginger beer spider, but I thought that might have been a bit too complex.
I'm going for a triple bourbon and Coke without the bourbon.
Oh, that's a bit dull. But it is a school night. This is the first day of 16 days of championship bowls here at Cherry Street Sports, here on the beautiful New South Wales Northern Rivers. Nick Hine and Andrew Lynn are with you. We're watching Fred McConnell and David Parkinson against Jacqueline Hudson and Michelle Campbell here in the All Abilities pairs. So these players have vision impairment or some physical impairment issues, and we're watching what's turned out to be a very closely fought game. Michelle Campbell and Jackie Hudson holding sway at the moment. This is Jackie Hudson, who has been an Australian representative. Just going to bring that camera back a little bit so we can see what's going on at the back of the rink there. Yes. Now Fred, he seemed a very good character when we were chatting during the trial end. And is very likely to want to get something close here, get his team back into it. He's just taken a moment, stepping off the mat. The neighbouring rink was coming down and might have just been in his line of sight. You can see they're making their way up the rink there. So McConnell, backhand. Let's maybe subtract a metre on his last. Well, subtracted a little bit more, but it's probably going to be pretty close to shot. The white ball at the back of the rink's probably favoured, but
yeah, it will look closer on the camera simply because of the angle. So not a lot in it, but I do think it is the white ball at the back. So Jackie just can lose half a metre or so off her previous bowl. Be pretty close to shot, or will be shot, be pretty close to the jack. Looks a decent line from behind.
Yeah, agreed.
Just needs that running. I was just going to pull up a fraction short.
Yeah, she turned very early and spoke with her director and said, "Oh, I don't think I've given it." And so it proved to be.
Well, here's your chance, Fred, to be a superstar.
He certainly wasn't nervous about being on the stream, Drew.
Well, that's the way to be. Well, that wasn't a glass, that was a drink bottle gone splat.
Well, he's got his weight about bang on there. I reckon that's going to be number one. That's number two, according to David Parkinson. He's got 2 fingers in the air for us down there, so thank you to our skip. It's always good when the players can give us a bit of information.
Or was he just flipping the bird to you, Nick?
2 fingers, Andrew, 2.
Yeah, just flipping the bird. Like a very good crew we've got playing here at the moment. Some pretty big personalities in amongst them, but some very nice people.
Yeah, we look forward. Saying earlier, there's a dinner on for all the players, their partners, and a lot of the support team here. So we're all looking forward to sitting down and enjoying dinner with them tomorrow night here at Cherry Street Sports. They've looked after us very well so far. We've had a couple of nice burgers. They had egg and bacon rolls on this morning. There's 100 clubs, which I assume I'm going to do my dough in again. As we see, Michelle was on a good track there, but just pulled up a little bit short. And getting to the end of the day, as can happen to us all, easy to get a bit weary. So David Parkinson here, he's the one. If he can lift and find a few shots, I can still see them coming home to win this game. They're only 3 behind Fred McConnell and David Parkinson. Lemon Tree Passage, the home club for David. They'll be cheering for him. Michelle now on the forehand, needs to add a couple of metres. This one's looking better. She's steering it. Needs to get past that front white. Just not quite there. Andrew's updated all the scores on the neighbouring rinks.
Some great battles going on around us. Next door, Kaz Nelson and Anthony Brown, the skippers. Ray Douglas and Michael Vassallo. Talk about big personalities. There's one, Michael.
Vass, yes. Oh.
Just one shot in that against. Ding dong battle there.
Righto. David, can you find the line, find the track, and find the pace?
Because Anthony Brown will be thinking this will be in my backyard next year. We've got a free visit agreement to go to Dubbo. Macquarie or City will be the main host club, but I think we'll be basing the all abilities out of Dubbo City again. And very simple reason there is the access capabilities for that club are much better. West Dubbo, to get to the greens, there's one left and it goes out to the front. You've got to go round. Might be another one out there. They've got some renovation plans in place, but we'll see there. But Macquarie, a little bit of a slope on the green as well, out to the greens, down the stairs. So City all flat access in.
Well, Fred's just taken a bit of a lap there. I think he reckons they've still got a couple. So
yeah, pretty close to it, I'd say, the two there.
Well, David struggled with this length. There's still an opportunity if you can find the gate. Add on and get themselves right back into this contest.
all in.
Oh,
Ring the bell. It's the charity bucket's going to come into play again.
so that one's gone. A little bit awry there.
Do have a story that Steve Glasson played 2 wrong biases in a state trial game. Back in the days where you'd play one of the local sides before an interstate series. Consecutive bowls near the end of the game were wrong biases. Did ask Glass about that story and the cause of that, and he confirmed yes, it happened, and that was because Kevin Walsh had swapped the stickers on his bowls. He wasn't very complimentary about Walshy for doing that.
Look, it's one of the oldest tricks in the book, that, isn't it? But it still gets a few good players.
Didn't like anyone swapping the stickers on my bowls because you had to get them to stick back on again. And once you've taken them off a couple of times, they don't really like sticking again.
Well, maybe that might have something to do with what Glass did with me when I was at Mount Lewis playing a BPL Cup State final a few years ago. He was just giving out sheets and sheets and sheets of Mount Lewis Lions stickers to anybody who turned up and got within 10 feet of him, basically. So I don't think Glass was ever going to be likely to be short of some stickers in the future. You see Fred here, he's on a good line, just pulled up a little bit short.
Yeah, good metre and a bit, that one, metre and a half even. Maybe, well, actually, I think it's about 2 metres. Those squares are about the same as the distance from the tee to the ditch, so about 2 metres.
Yeah, they run a great show here. Duncan Elphick and his team. They widely regarded as some of the best greenkeepers in New South Wales. He's been a finalist many times in Greenkeeper of the Year.
Well, he's D, and it's Elfco Greenkeeping Services. Do we start calling him Dobby? Dobby the house elf?
Oh, if you want to do that, you can take that risk. I won't be doing it. I've played enough with and against Duncan that I'm not going to antagonise him. He's a big unit.
Well, Dobby's one of the most loved characters in the Harry Potter series, so...
Well, if you think he's going to take it positively, then you're most welcome, Andrew.
And does magic.
So we see there Fred watching on intently through the monocular.
Well, Elfco might have Dobby working for him, you know. That would explain the magic on the greens.
There, look, it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, Duncan is a hard marker. He said, they probably look better than they are. Well, I think they're pretty good. You can play every shot on this sort of pace, even despite the rain. And they had them being rolled, 2 rollers on each green in opposite directions, which you don't see every day this morning. And then they came out and gave them a go at lunchtime. So the greens are running pretty good here. As we see, that'll be number 1 there. So Fred's going to flick back now to the forehand. A little bit of a weight control exercise. Any clear road past his own with the right sort of speed. Well, it's probably in the argument for second shot. Might be in the argument for first shot.
Well, that bowl's about 13 and a half seconds in course, I make it.
Yeah, look, given the rain we've had, everybody would be aware of the lashing that northern New South Wales and southeast Queensland got with ex-tropical cyclone Alfred. That's easy for you to say.
TCA.
But with all that going on, we see Jackie's done the right thing for herself and pumped one of hers up. With all that going on, we've seen lots of weather up here, and the greens are still running admirably. Nothing worse though than the rain that we saw yesterday morning, Andrew, between the hours of 8 and 9:30 a.m. when we were unloading the vans.
Yeah, just it belted down. Had a couple of showers overnight, both nights as well, so the greens have taken that very well. There's a beautiful even grass cover on these greens.
So viewers, if you are just joining us, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe Bowls New South Wales on the YouTube. You'll be able to catch all our matches when they go live, get notifications. We're chasing, Andrew, I said to the comms team, how many are we chasing? It's 1 billion followers we want. We're currently several hundred million short, but we'll get there. So do make sure you're following Bowls New South Wales on all the socials. We've got 2 great singles games coming for you tomorrow. Ray Douglas from Hazelbrook up against Kathleen Wilton from East Maitland. And then Anthony Brown, who you were just speaking of, from West Dubbo. He'll be the later morning game against Simone Smith from East Maitland as well. So East Maitland will be featuring prominently tomorrow. David Parkinson has the ball on its way. And he's got his weight pretty close this time.
Well, I put that one at 13.73 time in course. So just under 14 seconds. Just over 13 and a half, whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's too bad a pace at all. I'm sure Duncan would love to see it faster, but with all the weather being around, I think that's fantastic. Michelle, well, they're all her own on the way in, and she's drawn a shot. That's the best hand to play for Michelle because she can afford to play with heaps of confidence. Any one of those 3 contact is a good thing.
So, Fred giving some very explicit instructions there. You've got your speed. Just need to get in there. And even just beating that green bowl is going to go pretty close. On the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of the screen, as you've got it there, viewers.
You get your lefts and rights mixed up when you're looking live on screen. And
yes, stage left or theatre left. So, after his wrong bias the other end, he's having a good look. This one, resetting himself. Well, that's the sort of tight line that might be okay. Just going to drift under, a little bit underweight.
yeah, that one 13.66, so we're just over 13.5 seconds speed green. I reckon this is pretty close to that 27 metre measuring distance.
So we see here directors giving some instructions as to whose bowls what and where. But what it is at the moment is definitely 2-3 potentially.
Yeah, look, Michelle just needs to be underneath that green bowl. Doesn't want Jack. Get a rub off the inside of the green's okay. Turn your own's okay. Draw a shot's okay. Well, you're not going to do any damage with that one. It's not quite sent. We're just over 25 minutes to go. So we're definitely not going to get our full quota of 14 ends in on this game. Going to be a few short.
Well, knowing that, very important here. If David Parkinson can sneak one in for shot or get it back, and that's what the call is from Fred. I think he's making sure he's going to reach here on that backhand. Promote, go through the gate, grab the jack, get to the back of the rink. Yeah, you've got to give your bowler a chance here. And Fred McConnell from Cudgen has been explicit with his instructions.
I don't mind this choice either if you're going to try and play through those.
Well, they may already, like all those white bowls may be in already.
Just that there is a fair chance this does not quite work. But if you're playing with, oh, you're going to be wide, can't be wide.
Well, we'll see how this finishes. It does have the breeze helping at that hand, but he was still short. And Michelle here with a chance to potentially put the game right out of reach with only 20 odd minutes to go. Just a fairly cautious effort there. Michelle sits down. Fred's kicking out a few bowls. And I didn't see the signal whether it was 3 or 4. So, but I'm sure we'll get a verdict there.
3, 9, 4.
3 it was. So, with 25 minutes to go, 2, maybe 3 ends. The third end might get started. Really, really important here for the McConnell Parkinson team to get on the board. I was going to say get something else, but of course Lee Stinson has just wandered over.
Don't say what you tell him to get.
No, I thought I'd better be a bit careful about that. So, once again, Jack up near the tee. I feel it's a really good reference point for these players. They know where they've placed the mat. They know what the distance is going to be. And Jackie Hudson smoothly away.
I do feel out near that next centre line on the edge of this rink is fairly good aiming point. It's not quite come back all the way, but I do feel that bit extra speed there, that extra yard or two, that would have come back.
Well, Fred McConnell here. Gee, he's on the right sort of a track. You can see David Parkinson was urging it on from the business end up there. Still, yes, just wanted a couple more metres.
Give this a bit more of another 2 metres or so for Jackie, I think. I don't think she's got any more speed on this one. The line's just a little bit tighter, but they dropped it 2 metres off. So Fred, I think he needs about 4 metres. Maybe 3 and a bit.
yeah, one of those ones where adding a metre was good, but adding 2 was probably better. Give yourself a chance to finish past and get down to the jack. That's what Fred's done here.
Just going to drop in behind.
So, see here. Jackie's third bowl has been her best every end, although I reckon, Andrew. She's, you have a couple of sighters, which I know is probably the wrong term for this cohort, but a couple to find your range. And then with the third...
Do you think she just didn't quite get this one out of the hand? She tried to put the effort to push this one through, and just went out of the side of the hand a little bit.
Yeah, it can happen. Well, it can happen to all of us. So, Fred, again, looking to maybe just take a metre off. If he gets the gate here, this is going to be pretty close to the right sort of weight. And it's just run past, but what it's done is it's probably made a couple of shots there to the McConnell Parkinson duo, and a couple of shots is what they need. We're very confident that the clock's going to be going to run out on them in.
We've got just over 18 minutes to go.
Very good. We've just had our.
No, I got the timer on, mate.
You've got the timer. I thought Ray was giving you a tune up there.
No, I was just sharing that with Ray.
So he's a very good man, Ray Roberts, who's been coordinating all our volunteers here for this week and then across the 3 clubs next week, doing an absolute power of work.
Just as Dean blew his horn, I pressed start on my countdown timer, set it 2 hours. That was for my own benefit.
You're very organised. We'll see how clever we are overnight. We might see if we can add one to the coverage tomorrow, hey?
Yeah, we can. I just don't. I wasn't mucking around with something that works.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
At this stage, there's lots of features we can access in the future. We also don't want the screen to be too busy. But let's watch this space with what we can do. I'm going to try and get what we've got right first. A little bit of new technology. Still got a couple of things just to little improvements in. But we'll be getting there. We'll be making things prettier as we go, eventually, anyway.
Well, there's one thing they can make prettier. Now, our commentators.
No, mate, nothing going to make us prettier. Not because we're perfect. Just a tough task. Do have that shirt that I wore last night during dinner. I'm not perfect, just awesome. Fred, backhand.
There's another $5 in the kiddies. Remains David Parkinson.
Oh, David, you don't get any money out of me. No, that doesn't happen.
Well, he's got this one trundling on the right side of a line there, but it was only trundling. Wonder if he might need a bit more petrol.
Sander last year, he still didn't get right. I asked for a slim body and a fat wallet. I still haven't got. He got those around the wrong way. Well, Michelle's punched her own bowl up. Has it been enough? Maybe.
That's going to be close to...
That's pretty close.
For shot now. We haven't seen anything, but... Fred's having a look at it there. So it's all over next door. We were talking about the great game between Michael Vassilo, Anthony Brown and co. As we see, David's got the power behind that one, but it's just gone out too wide.
Well, Michael and Anthony, they trailed for much of the beginning of the game, but they've powered home to win 16-10. So it looks like they'll finish top to go through to the quarterfinals. But I think Ray and Caroline also had 2 wins, so I think they'll proceed as well.
Well, that has done it now. So,
could be a couple. Could be 3.
Yeah. Michelle, we're going to put this game out of reach of the McConnell and Parkinson duo. And we suspect has made 2 shots down at the northern end here at Cherry Street Sports. Familiar pictures. This is Rink 5 today. It'll be Rink 7 for most of the program. Might be Rink 8 on a couple of days, but we'll be bringing all the action right here from Cherry Street Sports. Do come and say good day.
Well, for the Marrickville fans, just 0.2's not quite right. It's 20. Mark Pink's just grabbed quite a few shots in the last few ends. He's now up 20-6 after 13. So he will have a... Sorry, that's not Mark. It's Singleton, RSL, Maitland City. That's Chris Constable and Howard. Sorry about that. Mark's on a different rink.
That's okay. I can reveal it was 2 shots in the end there to the Campbell Hudson duo. So with, I reckon this will be the last end. Andrew, what have we got left? 12 minutes.
12 minutes 20.
We might start one more. It'll be close.
And that's unofficial time, of course. It may be pretty close.
Might be 12 minutes 19. So we can see there they've got the looking glasses out. Michelle has spotted the jack for us. Now this is probably the shortest length we've seen for much of the game here. Seeing Jackie Hudson, good start there from Jackie. Jack high. The shorter length might be a bit more forgiving though for some of the players we've seen. Particularly the skips have had some difficulty bowling on the longer lengths here. Fred McConnell, he's had no difficulty getting the longer length. And he's gone just sliding past. Matty Stiles left a nice comment for me, Andrew. It's very nice to back on the air. Matt Stiles, of course, was the ACT president while I was there for a little while, and he's also been the Bowls ACT junior coach. Does a lot of great work for the sport in the capital region, Matt Stiles. As we're seeing Jackie, another well-weighted bowl. Yeah, Lee's just come and said it's 10 minutes to go, and that's, of course, not as accurate as Andrew's timing, because Andrew's got it down to the thousandth of a second, I think, on his stopwatch.
Well, we can.
This looks better from Fred. If he goes the trip here,
So the Marrickville people I gave that false hope to, I think they're actually going to go down. There's 14 ends on the board there. I think they're anticipating the finish. We're behind 19 shots to 7, and they're measuring for the final end.
and no power plays, of course, in this, Andrew, so unlikely to be a 12.
No, look, it's very difficult. Well, you might get a steward's inquiry if you put a 12 on the scorecard.
All right, Jackie Hudson. Could be her last bowl of the game with just 10 minutes to go.
Well,
She's on a good track.
you wouldn't mind this being your last bowl of any game, would you?
Well,
You drawn shot, that's good.
that'd be about the last bowl of my career, I reckon. I could probably retire if I got one that close.
Oh, thank goodness there's not much danger of that. Very, very friendly banter here.
Jeez, I'm looking forward to taking Andrew on. We're going to get him out one night, and I'm sure he's going to give me an absolute toweling.
No, I didn't bring my bowls, so
So you've got an excuse then.
all my bowl shoes.
Good effort from Fred here once
Oh,
again.
he's just got the little inside rub off his own bowl. A little unlucky. That's given him good position. He really wanted that bowl in the middle. Push it up for a shot, up and over. He's just glanced off, so not quite in the right spot. We've got 8 minutes to go, so we may just get the jack rolled.
That was my suspicion. I think 12 ends was probably the upper limit there, but as we take a good look at that head, I'll get you in a bit tighter here, viewers, and we can have a really good look at this. So the white bowl number 1 in front, and then the blue bowl on the left, definitely second shot. Blue bowl on the right, maybe second, maybe third.
Michelle looks a good line. Up and over her own's all right. Just inside that other one's okay too. Wants it to flop. Oh, it's just
Wow.
one bowl speed not enough. Or one bowl width not enough. One bowl width would have just died off the inside of that bowl. Probably counted. So it's up to David. Got a little bit of traffic. Oh, dear me. Mate, just want to check something there. That monitor's just gone off, so I want to check. There we go. We're back on.
Well, if I've got you calling off the monitor, that might be an issue there, Andrew. You can see exactly what's going on in front of you here. You got
Oh
to
yeah,
see.
no, I've just looked across. I've checked the monitor occasionally as well, just to make sure the L plate driver's got the correct shot on. You did so before you got the Titan shot up, so I watched to see the smoothness of the motion.
Oh, all right, very good. No, I'm growing in confidence.
Yeah,
Would be the wrong way to put it.
so David's going to play his forehand side. There is a little bit of danger here. If he collects the white ball, he can punch it towards the shot, towards the jack.
Well, Fred's been urging him to play through it, so let's see what sort of pace we get, what sort of a
pace
angle we get.
No, he's not coming back from out there, no matter what your pace. Michelle,
So,
just slightly overplayed draw, I think, is the best one here for her as well. You're not going anything crazy because you don't want to move that jack more than a few inches. But if you're just over and you want a tight line, you don't want to hit that blue bowl off to the right of screen. This is a good line if she's got a couple of yards on it just to match that bowl at the back, and that is very well played. I'm happy with that for an effort from Michelle. Gives her an element of cover.
Yeah, it certainly helps having that bowl there. There's less risk of something getting raked through the head and popping the jack into no man's land. That dark blue bowl at the back of the rink there may come in handy, as skips often say. That may come in handy.
We've got about 4.5 minutes or so left on the clock.
I reckon we're going to get one more in here, Drew. But knowing that, it's really, really important here for McConnell and Parkinson to pick up something, pick up a score, give themselves a chance to win the game on the last end.
We've got 3 bowls to play. It's going to be tight.
Well, he's trying the backhand here. I don't necessarily dislike this.
Again, though, it's just a bit wide. When you're down, you've got to be into the head. Now, Michelle, I don't know. I'd maybe favour the other side of the green for her, and slightly overplay, trying to get the inside of your own white bowl. You give that a clap on the back, you push the blue one away, you bring a couple in. But more importantly, you just get a little tickle on that jack, just like that call. So you're just playing a foot or two away, slightly tight line. You do want to stay away from that. So slightly tight line, you get either of your bowls with 2 feet of weight, you're going to get a good result. But again, don't be wide. Don't think that's going to do any damage other than perhaps get in the way for David.
Well, we've seen he's sort of been favouring the backhand. And that might be the only way in there now. Get a turn through the blue bowl on the right-hand side of screen. David assessing the situation here.
We've got about just under 2 3/4 minutes to remaining. So they've got to play this bowl and declare the head, put the mat down and roll the jack before Mr. Timekeeper comes out and hoots his hooter.
Blow that whistle, ref, yeah. So, how do we like this for a sort of a line here? We're going to get him down into the head. He's chipped the green bowl across. Maybe done enough there. Well, this might be the last end though, Andrew, if they get a tape out here. So, all other games have been completed. It was one shot in the end to the Hudson and Campbell duo. So 12 shots to 4. This will be the last end, assuming they get the jack rolled. And Jackie Hudson, she must be aware of the situation. So the jack has been rolled. We will play this final end.
And I'll tell you what, it'd be none too soon. That weather is just starting to look pretty threatening.
Yes, the wind's picked up again, as you say that, there's a little scudding shower coming across now. So, a tough finish here for our competitors.
And just hear the breeze in our microphones as well.
Oh, Jackie Hudson, that's the right sort of line with this this wind getting up. We can see here on the camera there, Fred's let his bowl go. You can see the rain starting to fall. It's got quite heavy. You'll see the bowl's got a little bit of a track going along it.
And we do have the final scores as per the scoreboards scrolling through on your progress scoreboard. So if someone does appeal against the weather, now we would actually finish the game. Any delays now would complete the match.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that we need to be conscious of here, Andrew, is lightning, of course.
Yep.
So, yeah, Jackie's saying she's struggling to hold the bowl.
And look, the outcome of this match is not going to be affected. This is the last end. There's more than 6 shots in it, so...
We'll see how Fred McConnell can go here. He's played some very creditable bowls today in what's becoming more and more challenging conditions, and this could be about the best of them. That's a second shot there for Fred McConnell. See Jackie there desperately trying to get her bowl dry so she can hang on to it. And, I mean, as we saw, unfortunately, last week in Wollongong, or 2 weeks ago in Wollongong with the women's pennant finals, this weather can be very challenging for a lot of players.
Yep. Well, it's getting quite heavy now.
Yeah, certainly I wouldn't be surprised if this was called off.
Well, players are coming in. That's not a problem to me. That's more than sensible.
No, agreed. I think the right thing to do at this point is to shake hands. As we said, any interruption to play will be considered the conclusion of the match. But we'll see. Michelle's come down this way. We'll see if she's keen. Fred's gone and put his... He's not had enough yet. Fred's gone and put his raincoat on.
Yeah, look, and these pair, they're not going to make finals regardless of this result. So it's getting rather heavy now. Yeah.
Okay, and so Lee Stinson has come on out. He's just going to move the camera for us.
So our number one camera has just been disconnected.
That's all right. We'll stay with you here. I expect that the players are going to have a discussion about whether or not they're going to continue. So, Lee Stinson's come out here. That's going to be the conclusion of this game, I fully imagine. He's speaking with the players now. The weather is coming in. And Lee Stinson speaking with all the players. So, my expectation is that's going to conclude our stream. Thank you. Do stay tuned into the Bowls Link Resorts portal. It will have all the results in very shortly following the conclusion of the stream. Don't forget we'll be going to be back on tomorrow morning. We've got 2 games in the All Abilities singles, including Ray Douglas versus Kathleen Wilton. That's Hazelbrook versus East Maitland. And Anthony Brown of West Dubbo against Simone Smith, also of East Maitland. So East Maitland fans, do stay tuned. We look forward to having your company here tomorrow. But from now, Andrew, I think the right decision's been made.
Yeah, look, even then, I think we need to call this because we're going to get those cameras out of the rain. They are slightly protected, but not hugely. So I think that is the result being called.
So, well, that's all from us here today at Bowls New South Wales, the TAB 2024-2025 Bowls New South Wales State Championships. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your company. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the